morning is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 1 to 11. Hear now these words. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. He fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and afterwards he was famished. The tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread." But he answered, "It is written, one does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him to the holy city and placed him on the pinnacle of the temple, saying to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone." Jesus said to him, "Again, it is written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. And he said to him, "All these I will give you if you will fall down and worship me." And Jesus said to him, "Away with you, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve only him." Then the devil left him, and suddenly angels came and waited on him. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. Well, we are now entering into the season of Lent. Lent is one of those seasons that we come upon every year around this time, but we're never quite ready or prepared for it when we get there. A lot of times we end up scratching our head at sometime in February or March and say, "How did we get here? We're already in Lent." Lent, of course, is that period of 40 days, recognized in part by the scripture passage. 40 days of fasting, 40 days of prayer, 40 days of self-denial. It is a time whereby we reflect on what we have done and what has been done to our Lord and Savior, that we are able to draw closer to him. And so we see here this scripture passage. Always the first Sunday in Lent, always, according to the lectionary. And that scripture passage is of the temptations. And we see again these three temptations that are put upon Jesus. And of course, the first thing that we want to note is that Jesus was not immune from or free from temptation. Jesus suffered and struggled with that temptation as much as any and every one of us. A lot of times we have a tendency when we talk about Jesus and we talk about his divineness to also to kind of put off to the side his humanness. But what we understand about Jesus is not just that he was 100% divine, but he was also 100% human. Now, if you try to do the math on that, it doesn't quite add up in a way. How can it be 200%? But that's not exactly how faith works, and it's certainly not how we understand who Jesus is to work. Jesus had to be fully divine in order to offer himself, in order to be that resurrection for us, but Jesus also had to be 100% human to understand everything that we would go through. To be able to comprehend that, to be able to struggle with that, to be able to wrestle with that. And so Jesus goes and it says, particularly in this passage, it says then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. What kind of crazy God do we serve that would drive Jesus further into the wilderness to wrestle with this temptation? And yet, here is this temptation, the set of temptations before us. He was tempted by the devil. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And in Matthew's version it says, and afterwards he was famished. The tempter came to him at the end of those 40 days. Can you imagine going 40 days without food? It's hard enough for me to go one day without food.
Amen.
Maybe even one meal without food. And yet here is Jesus doing something that is largely beyond us in our own 20th century, 21st century sort of understanding of sustenance. We know we're supposed to eat those 3 meals a day. Why would we willingly give them up for one day, much less 40? And yet here Jesus does this, and it is at the end of those 40 days where the devil comes to him and says this to him. And note what it is that the devil says to him. The devil says to him, if you are the Son of God, which of course he knows, he's the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread. And of course, this is different from one of the other temptation passages we have, I believe Mark's Gospel, where it says, command this loaf or command this stone to become a loaf of bread. Here Jesus says, or the tempter says, command these stones to become loaves of bread. Now, if you have ever been in that part of the world, if you've ever been in Israel, Palestine, if you've ever been in that part of the world, one of the first things that you see, and that your tour guide takes you to see, is a pile of rocks that means X. And then they'll take you to see another pile of rocks that means X. And then you go, and if you look back through your photos after a few days, all of the rocks start to look the same. But those stones after stones after stones can create this sense of, where am I and what is going on here? All of these stones that are there. And so when the devil comes up to Jesus and says, if you would but just recognize you are the Son of God, just command these stones to become loaves of bread. It's not just that you would be feeding yourself. It's that you would be feeding everyone in this area, everyone in this community, everyone in this nation that is hungry, that is in need in this moment, every single one of them. Can you understand how tempting it might be to Jesus to not just feed one mouth, but to feed so many? And yet, even in that weakness of body, there is strength in his Holy Spirit that is with him, and he answers, but it is written, one does not live by bread alone. As much as this is important, one does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. Every word we are to cling to. Not just what is right before us, not what is just convenient for us, not what might help us. And then the devil took him to the holy city and placed him on the pinnacle of the temple, saying to him, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here. Throw yourself down from here to show that the angels will pick you up, that the angels will carry you, so that people will understand how great you are. Over and over and over again, when you're reading the Gospels, if there's not a moment where you don't think, Jesus, why don't you just smite everyone? Why don't you just tell everyone? Why don't you just give in and just let everyone know so that there's not this struggle and there's not this wrestling with? Why don't you just show your feats of power and strength? In fact, some have submitted that Judas did what he did because he was hoping for that very thing. That maybe in those final moments there, after being betrayed, that maybe then Jesus would really rally up and be that warrior king that he knew he could be. And that surely the Israelites needed. And yet Jesus said to him, again it is written, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Do not test God. There is a plan. There is a purpose. There is a way that this is to all pan out. And it is not, devil, the way that you think. And it is not, devil, the way that you have planned. And devil, it is not certainly the way that you have mapped out for me, much less for the world. But again, that devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and all their splendor, and said to him, all these I will give to you if you will fall down and worship me. Can you imagine that kind of power that Jesus would have in that moment? Not just to be king over one kingdom, but all the kingdoms, to have the power more so than even Caesar. Imagine all the good that could be done with what Jesus would have in that moment. All of the wrongs that could be righted. All of the things that could be made new. If you just gave this one big concession, and it is a big one, if you would but fall down and worship me. And Jesus says to him, away with you, Satan! For it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve only him. Then the devil left him, and suddenly angels came and waited on him. Away with you, Satan! Or, not today, Satan. Have any of you seen that meme? It's been going around. Sometimes it's on people's shirts. I've even seen it on coffee mugs now. It's that when something trying is happening in your life, in that day or that week or that month, that you have power over the devil, that you have power over the tempter, that you have power over the enemy when you say, not today, Satan. When you say, this is not how your plan, God, is supposed to be. Not that we will not go through temptations. Not that we will not go through trials, for there are every bit what we have to do on a daily, much less on a Lenten basis. But to recognize that there is one who is far greater, to recognize there is one who is far stronger, to recognize there is one who is far more than the principalities of this world, than the kingdoms of this world, than the commitment of showing strength in this world. There are noble causes that we can give ourselves to, but if we are not giving ourselves over to God, then they are all for naught. There are feats of might and strength that our world says this is how the world is run, but God says in the end it's all for naught. There are rulers in this world who think that they have power over everyone and everything else, but they do not. Jesus does, because of who God is, and because the Holy Spirit has not allowed him to succumb to the devil. And that is a hard thing sometimes for us to accept. there are moments, are there not? There are times in our lives, are there not? There are days where we think, God, if you could just come and smite everything the way that I know this person needs to be smited, right? In my divinity school, there were lots of classes that I took. Cursing and smiting was not one of them. Because I really don't know who it is. I may think I know, but I don't. But what Jesus does say is, I will be with you through the temptations. Jesus says, I will be with you through the struggles. I will be with you through all of the things that feel as if they are too much. I will come alongside you, and I will give you strength to be able to say, not today, Satan. Today I will make it through, and I will get to the end of the day. And sometimes it is just recognizing that it is, I think it's Chris Christopherson's song. It says, one day at a time, dear Jesus, that's all I'm asking of you. What did you sing it? What's it say? No, okay, you're going to sing it. I've lost the rest of it. Okay, go ahead and sing it. But one day at a time is really what we come down to. And we say, not today, Satan. Recognizing that tomorrow is going to be presented with worries of its own. Tomorrow is going to be presented with temptation of its own. And yet tomorrow, we get up and we say, not today, Satan. Every single day we face that battle. Every single day we face that struggle. If you or one of your loved ones has faced any kind of addiction, whether it's alcohol, whether it's whatever the kind of addiction that you have, or the ones that you see in those family members, you know it is a daily struggle and a daily admitting and surrendering over of the self to God and the power of Jesus Christ. If anything, Jesus shows us that the temptations come and they keep coming and they don't stop coming. But what is clear is that God ultimately has the victory.